You must have heard the saying, work hard so you will never hunger to death. This fundamental is built on desperation, and it has been passed down from generation to generation. Finding a job is totally acceptable, but if you look closely, you'll realize that it didn't say so that you may become wealthy or so that you may become everything God wants you to be. It says, so you will never hunger to death. We are conditioned to think and act in specific ways. Even if we are not aware of it, we've been trained to act in certain ways that don't make economic sense now. According to traditional thinking, if you're a perfect cog, you'll get your small sum of money at the end of the day and be able to go home. That mindset will keep you impoverished. That manner of thinking is known as the wheelbarrow way. Pick up your wheelbarrow and fill it with bricks. For every hour you push your wheelbarrow, you will receive 1 cent. You must push your wheelbarrow for another hour if you want a second cent. We were taught that working for a living was the only way to make money. We need to find a job and be reliant on the boss since we don't have enough hours in the day. You now work long days every day, pushing your wheelbarrow to keep up with your mandatory working hours. Then something terrible begins to happen. You begin to realize that you are just breaking even with the kids' schooling, unable to pay the rent, and unable to purchase the necessities. What exactly do? You go back to your childhood beliefs and obtain a job so that you will never starve to death. This time though, it's a second job or third job. So at night, you push a second wheelbarrow to get extra pennies. This mindset keeps families impoverished generation after generation. Change your perspective. You only have so many hours in a day as a human being. Pay is not determined by the amount of hours you work. As long as we assume that a number of hours equals number of pennies, we will have financial troubles. Get rid of the bricks in your wheelbarrow and fill it with gold instead. In other words, you must increase the worth of your job. For every hour you push that wheelbarrow, earn more per hour rather than working longer hours to make more money. The first step is having the conviction that becoming a high net worth individual is attainable and that a wealthy person is not a distinct species. A rich individual has a better understanding of how to make money and how to achieve goals than you have. Let me tell you about a fantastic book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. He discusses the differences between persons who succeed and those who fail in that book. He discusses how rich families educate their children, which is considerably different from what is taught in medium and lower income homes. The book also discusses how to deal with authoritative figures. The Industrial Revolution taught that you must dread the boss because he controls your life. Therefore, the poor and middle classes were taught to fear authority. Consider this scenario. A middle-class family brings their child to the dentist and educates them that the dentist is God, that he has studied for 8 years and knows all there is to know about dentistry. The youngster must remain silent, sit down, keep quiet, and even if it hurts, do as he directs. Wealthy families face the same challenges, but take a different approach. They tell the kid that the dentist is his best friend. He has studied for 8 years in order to effectively assist him. If he has any questions regarding his mouth, his teeth, or anything else, he should ask the dentist. Ask the dentist because it's his job to help. This is just a simple example. Now double that thinking for the following 20 years. Which of the two kids do you believe will have a better chance in life? You have one who has been educated to fear authority, to be silent and motionless, and the other who has been taught that the world is available for him to use all of its resources. Consider how much of a difference that would make. We've been misled into believing an Industrial Revolution myth that claims the authorities know best, so we should shut up and do what they say. This way of thinking is a century old, and we can no longer teach it. We've been advised for years that if you want to be safe, find a job and don't leave. Because you're putting all of your eggs in one basket, I feel this is the riskiest thing you can do. You're placing your family, your career, your future, and your entire existence into one basket and giving it over to someone who isn't concerned about your well-being. That appears to me to be a highly unsafe scenario. Also, 60 years ago, people worked for 40 or 50 years and retired safely. Unfortunately, this no longer occurs. If you have a job these days, most companies will only offer you 31 days of safety. Let's take a new approach now. People claim that being an entrepreneur and being your own boss is dangerous. However, the only individuals who are affluent, according to Forbes magazine, are their own employers. As an entrepreneur, if you try 10 big, crazy, brilliant ideas and 8 of them fail, you'll have 2 that work. Now you go out and try 10 more massive inspired ideas, 8 of which fail, but 2 of which succeed. That means you now have 4 different sources of income. The new safe is risky. The new risky is safe. The more we believe the old Industrial Revolution era notion that having a boss look after us is secure, the more we put our own lives at risk. The fact is that most people in the middle class are paralyzed by their fear of taking risk. The average high net worth individual has had 3 bankruptcies. Now, is the thought of being bankrupt frightening to you? For them, it's just part of the process, and they do something unusual. They let themselves fail. Allow yourself to fail because it's fine. It's only a little humiliation. And all you have to do now is pick yourself up and try again. Allow others to laugh at you and make fun of you for trying. But keep in mind that you are not distanced from your goals by a number of years, but by a number of deeds, which is an entirely different thing. Some people believe they will be affluent in 10 or 20 years, but it's up to you and your actions, not years, to put the ball back in your hands, to give you control, to give you power. I hope you learned something from this video. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Once again, this is your 3 Towers Investing channel, giving you the latest in finance, investment, and innovation. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.